British Olympic super heavyweight silver medalist Joe Joyce will make his professional debut at the O2 Indigo in London on October the 20th against Ian Lewison. Now, there had been talk that Joe Joyce wanted to fight Dave Allen in his professional debut. Allen apparently didn't believe that was the right move for him to take on Joe Joyce. He was offered, I think, a decent amount of money, turned it down apparently. In steps Ian Lewison. The fight will be a 10-rounder and it will be free to air on Dave in the UK. So, anybody with a television set will be able to watch it in the UK. As far as the venue, the O2 Indigo is in the O2 Dome, what used to be called the Millennium Dome. It's almost directly opposite the O2 Arena in the O2 Dome. If you come into the O2 Dome, the O2 Arena is ahead of you. You go right down where all the restaurants and bars are, and it'll be on your right-hand side, the O2 Indigo. It's normally like a venue for music and comedy and stuff like that. It's quite a small venue, only holds a couple thousand, I think. But in this instance, they're going to have a boxing show there. It's going to be headlined by, let me just get the information here, O'Donnell versus Mucha. I'm not sure who O'Donnell. John O'Donnell. Okay, John O'Donnell versus some guy called Mucha. That'll be taking place, as I say, on October 20th. Joe Joyce will be on the undercard against Lewison. Now, because of the fact that Joe Joyce is already in his early 30s, and he was a very experienced amateur, they're clearly trying to fast-track him. His promoters, Haymaker Ring Star, Richard Schaefer, who is one half of Haymaker Ring Star, came out a few weeks ago and said that Joe Joyce could be challenging the likes of Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder in, I think he said 6 or 7 fights, or 7 or 8 fights, something like that, which seems very ambitious. But given the age of Joe Joyce, given the fact that he was an accomplished amateur and an amateur for a very long time, and also fought in the World Series of Boxing and all that kind of thing, they believe he's ready. Again, if I haven't already mentioned, this fight against Ian Lewison is a 10-rounder, so it's not only a much tougher opponent than a guy would normally face in his pro debut, but it's also in a 10-rounder, not a 3-rounder or a 4-rounder or whatever, a 10-rounder. Is Joe Joyce ready for this test in his pro debut? Ian Lewison has always been a talented heavyweight. He's always been a skilled heavyweight, but he's always let himself down with very poor conditioning. And also, to be fair, he's been plagued with injuries. He himself is, I think he must be 35 or 36 now, Ian Lewison. So it's now or never for him. He's got to gamble. He's got to take a risk. And this opportunity here against Joe Joyce, he won't find a better one than this. He's got more time to prepare for this fight than he did for the Dillian Whyte fight. That's for sure. October 20th. I mean, we're talking about, what is it now? 6 weeks or something like that, 6, 7 weeks to prepare. So he's got plenty of time. He needs to come in a hell of a lot better shape. This could be last chance saloon for Ian Lewison. Joe Joyce, I think he fought 5 rounders in the World Series of Boxing, which is kind of like a semi-pro tournament, which he was in a couple years ago. And obviously was in the Olympics last year. So he's been at least 5 rounds. His fitness should be there. He spars Anthony Joshua and a lot of the top professionals. So he should have enough fitness to get through a 10-rounder if it goes that far against Ian Lewison. Lewison is a skilled heavyweight, a talented heavyweight, but because his conditioning is normally so poor, and he's not going to turn out to be a workaholic in the ring even after a 6 or 7 week camp. That's not going to happen. So he's going to be a fairly low volume guy in there against Joe Joyce. So even if it does go rounds, you would imagine Joyce should be able to get through it. Despite the fact he hasn't been the distance. I mean, Ian Lewison, how many times has Ian Lewison been 10, 12 rounds in a fight? Has he ever been 10, 12 rounds in a fight? I'm not even sure. He went, I think, 10 rounds with Dillian Whyte, or nearly 10 rounds. But other than that, I don't think Ian Lewison has ever been probably past 6 rounds in his career. So yeah, it shouldn't really matter, actually, that Joe Joyce is making his pro debut in a 10-rounder, given the opponent has never been 10 rounds himself, or never been, the distance himself. Again, 10 rounds against Dylan White, he got stopped in the 10th. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this particular fight. I know this is going to please a lot of fans because they hate the process that most professionals go through of knocking over journeymen early on in their career. Most fans hate that. They get frustrated with it. Well, you don't have to worry about that with Joe Joyce. He's taking on much tougher opposition than fighters normally do in their pro debut. So you should be happy about that. You should also be happy about the fact that it's free to air on Dave. You ain't got to pay for it. You ain't got to have a subscription. Nothing like that. As long as you got a TV with a Freeview tuner in it, as 99.9% of people do in the UK, then you're good to go. You'll be able to watch Joe Joyce's career unfold. So let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below, people. It's Hatman, I'm out.